Hey, good morning. Greg Flanagan here from Power Onward Masterminds. I'm glad you joined. This is a first for me, broadcasting live across multiple social channels. And I appreciate anybody that's joining. Just jump into the comments, say hello. Let me know that I am live and people are actually watching me. We're going to give it a couple of minutes here to build the audience. I know there's a lot of people out there that said, yeah, Greg, we're coming on. And hopefully they get there. What is Power Onward? I've been in business about 14 years, 14 and a half years as a real estate agent and broker in Charleston, South Carolina. And over the years, people have come to me, other agents have come to me looking for advice, asking for, insight into how to become a successful real estate agent. And I realized that I was spending a lot of time counseling, coaching, mentoring newer agents and even senior agents through the business side of this business, real estate. And I've put together a network, a website to where people can get on and get into my resources. Okay. And at the same time, use me as their coach. Coaching is, I've had a lot of coaches in my career and I believe in coaching. Coaching can get expensive if you aren't properly coached or you don't understand how to be coached. And that's where I come in. That's what I'm here for. Okay. Is to help you understand, number one, how to be coached. Number two, to get into business to be profitable. And three, to help you with your everyday deals. And Greg, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I've been doing it so long. I've had some great assistants over the years that have helped me build that. And that's what we're going to be doing over the next years, hopefully in the years to come. Fridays with Flanagan is 11 o'clock every week. It's to help you. It's the free part, okay? If you can't afford anything, our lowest subscription is like $39 a month. So that's affordable for most people. If you really can't afford that, that's what Fridays with Flanagan is for. We're going to go over topics every week, explaining different things. What's bothering you this week? Send me, somebody put in the comments, what's bothering you. Let's have a dialogue about what is the real things that are bothering you today. Do you have a closing that's not going through? Are you running into a brick wall with your scripts, with your conversations, as I like to call them? Conversations, to me, you should be having real estate conversations throughout the day. I'm not a firm believer of you got to do 4.5 hours of cold calls. Number one, people aren't picking up their phones anymore, right? Email, it's a good medium to stay in touch, but let's be honest, I get over 250 emails a day, and I don't open up half of them. Now, I see who they're from, sure. Do I unsubscribe once in a while? Definitely. The ones that are spamming me? Of course. So email is kind of dead. So I want to teach you how to work the business so that it's not that expensive to work. A lot of the people that are coming into the business are coming in because they want to be a solo entrepreneur and a solo business owner. And that's where I think this business is going. There are some huge teams and everybody says it's going to be consolidated. Well, I've got thoughts about Zillow and Realtor and all those. And I think the people that are going to make the money in the coming years are the solo agents. The solo agents that are actually going to get paid for their expertise, their knowledge, their fiduciary part of the process, the decision making as a trusted advisor, right? We all know that people join us, people hire us because they know, like, and trust us. And those are things that I'm going to bring forward to you. With that going on, I've got a simple presentation today. We have anybody on here that has a question before I jump into the presentation? Okay. We're going to jump over to, and if you're on here and you're not a real estate agent, join the fun. It's going to be a great career going forward. There we go. Somebody say, hey, Greg, I can see that now. You know, everybody, especially in this business, if you're in sales, any kind of sales, we deal with generating, you know, lead generating, handling objections. We've got to have those lead generations, and people are going to come back with objections all the time to us. Now, I normally ask this question: what would your business look like in 12 months if you added one more listing per month? Did you get a listing last year? Did you get a listing last month? You know, how would you like to only prospect low-hanging fruit, the people who actually want to sell? Wouldn't that be great, the people that only want to sell? And remember, our business is set up. Buyers are great, but everybody's got a buyer. Everybody's looking for property. Everybody wants to be a buyer's agent. The true field of real estate is the listing, representing the sellers in the market, putting your talents, your marketing ability, and giving them the confidence that you are the best person to market their property. We are marketing individuals. We are marketing companies, and that's what we do for a living, right? Add one more listing a month. Who am I? There I am, Greg Flanagan. Been around coaching for years. I've been around real estate for years. Prior to that, I've got 30 years entrepreneurial. We'll skip that one. 12 listings, $7,500 per listing. GCI is $90,000 per year. I think when we get into the real estate business, everybody's got this $100,000 on their mind, $150,000. I want to make $1 million. That's all great for a goal. Is it reality for most people that join us? Probably not. You've got a learning curve. Now, I've been in the sales business for a long time, and there's always that learning. There's always that learning. 1, 2, 3 years. By the time you're in your 4th year, if you're not making considerable amount of money, you really should look for another job. This is a learning curve. Part of Power On Network is to reduce that learning curve, reduce the, hi there, Wendy, how are you, dear? Reduce the cost of that learning curve. One of the things I can tell you, when I started business, I made more mistakes than you could possibly make, expensive mistakes. I call them my college education. This was, I mean, back then, when I first started, I actually, once I got a P&L, I had a line item for mistakes, hand up, mistakes for $10,000 a year. And that's what I did. I made mistakes, and I learned from those mistakes. And I'm here to help you not make those mistakes, because there's just too many shiny objects out there, too many, oh, that sounds like a great plan, when actually it's not a great plan. So definitely, we want to look for the listings. Go back to listings. 12 listings will get you $90,000 a year. It's not going to cost you a lot of money on the expense side. Who are we going to look for? The lowest hanging fruit out there are the for sale by owners, the expires, and the cancels. Why is that? Well, one of the biggest reasons is that these people have already raised their hand and said, hey, Greg, I want to sell my house, except the last guy didn't do a good job. So how am I going to solve their problem? And that's what you need to learn. How are you going to solve their problem? How are you going to transfer your confidence, your trust, and your marketing ability to them? So the fastest and most efficient way to grow your business is by marketing and calling prospects who already have shown that they're ready, willing, and able. On average, each new listing will net you 2 sales. So now you have 12 sales, you have 12 listings, and you're going to add 2 more on top of that, right? Probably buyer sales, maybe even another listing. So let's do the math. 12 times 2 is 24, plus 12 is 36 homes. 36 homes, about $180,000, $200,000 in income per year. It's not that hard to do. It just takes implementation and the ability to get over your fear. So where are you going to find these leads? Where are you going to find the FSBOs? Where are you going to find the expires? Where are you going to find the cancels? These are 4 quick quick ideas to find these people, right? Lead generation, you should have up to 10 different streams of lead generation. And these are 4 that are real important because these are the low-hanging fruits. These are the people that are ready, willing, and able to sell. They want to sell. They just need some direction, and you're the person to bring them direction. The Zillow.com, when you get on Zillow.com, just click for sale by owners. Get rid of everything else that's on Zillow because I'm not a fan, but they do have for sale by owners. And you can run right down there, the for sale by owners numbers right there. They're inviting you to call. In my book, ask your broker, but in my book, that is a published number they're asking me to call. ForSaleByOwners.com, same thing. Publicly known number, give them a call, drop by the house, drop a package off at the house. FSBO.com, another good one. MLS for expired and cancel. Go back 2 years. That's the trick to the MLS. Go back 2 years. Find a spot where 2 years ago these people were selling their house for too much money. They couldn't get bought because they were spending their house. They were selling their house way above expectations. Well, prices have risen, correct? This is where you go to find those people. 2 years back, year and a half back, it's a whole different market back then. They still want to sell. Motivation might have changed a little bit more because it's 2 years down the road, but definitely you're going to get them their price. What's stopping you from doing it? Anybody? What's stopping you from doing it? It's that fear of not knowing what to say. The fear of being told that realtors suck. Do they? Some do. Honestly, let's get real, man. I'm a realtor. We all belong to that organization, NAR. What does it take to get into that real estate? What does it take to get into NAR? Become a realtor. Say, I'm a realtor. Here's my pen. It takes $699 to take a test. And whatever the realtor dues are this year, $470, $480. Just because you're a realtor doesn't mean you do a great job. And my goal here with Power On Network is to help you understand how to do a great job for somebody and get it right and get the sale. Because you're going to blow away. We're in Charleston, South Carolina. We've got about 6,200 agents. And if you look down to see how many people are actually doing deals, you'll be surprised that, there's the top 20%. Even at 20%, I think they're only doing about 14 deals, 12 deals a year. The top portion are doing a lot of the deals. Fear of any angry prospect. This is the for sale by owner. For agents that have ever called on a for sale by owner, they have in the back of their mind, they've got this thing that says, oh my goodness gracious, the guy is mean, he's ugly, I'm afraid to go talk to him. Reshape your thinking. Reshape that thinking and said, this is the guy that's just pissed off. Okay? He's angry that his house hasn't sold. He's angry that, realtors are calling him up and he's not getting anybody to buy his house. What's the one thing the FSBO says all the time? Oh, why didn't you bring me a buyer? I didn't know your house was for sale, sir. And that's what I'm here for. Write those words down. That's what I'm here for. Those words, that's what I'm here for, sir, is to help you understand how I can sell your house through my system using whatever system you're going to use. All right. So fear of angry prospects, get over it. Readjust your thinking to, they're not angry at me. They're just upset. They're angry with themselves because they probably made a bad decision. They're angry with themselves. They're angry with other agents who are bothering them, but not bringing a solution. Not bringing a solution. In this market, what's the best solution you can do? Everybody's got buyers. Maybe you just want to hold an open house with them. Get a one-day listing agreement with them and go see if you can get an open house. That's just so fear. What other fears do you have as far as low-hanging fruit? Anybody? Crickets. Not a problem. All kinds of fears. Most of it's in our head. Most of it is in our head. Don't let fear get the better of you. Get out there and just do. Implement. So what I've put together for you, I've got a package that it's called my 25 killer objection handlers for FSBO, expired, and cancels. And if you'd like to, there'll be a little link down here where you can click into my site, and we'll get you that direct to your email. Go to poweronwardmastermind.com, sign up, and we'll get you that email to you. In there's 25 great handling objection handlers. You know what to say, and it's not you're not trying to trick somebody. You're not buttonholing them in a corner. What this is, it's a document that says you're in a very, very emotional state with this owner, right? And you're having a conversation, and these objection handlers are just to slow it down, to understand that all these for sale by owners, expireds, and cancels all have the same problem. And here's the objection handler to get them through that problem and start calming them down. And I think that's the biggest thing, is to bring them down. I run a small real estate team here in Charleston. And one of the things I make sure that every one of my staff members, my agents, we all understand is that when there's a problem, there's two buckets, right? There's two buckets we bring to every problem. And one of them is gasoline, and the other is water. If we continue to throw gasoline on the fire, what happens? The fire gets bigger. It's explosive. Nothing gets done. We can't fight that fire. Whereas if we bring the water, we start putting that fire out. And that's, I think, as you mature as an agent, or even as a full-time agent, it took me years. Man, I used to be a big gasoline guy. I think I actually had fun doing it, right? Let's see how high we can get this guy up in the air before we bring him down to earth. Not anymore. It's been at least 10 years, 12 years. Bring that bucket of water to the deal. And that's what objection handlers do. They slow you down. They make the prospect think and say, hey, nobody dies in real estate, hopefully. Nobody dies in real estate. It's just a deal. It's just getting your house sold. It's a very emotional deal, but nobody dies there. So drop over to poweronwardmastermind.com and ask for a copy. I love this slide simply because it does light up the fact, especially we have some non-real estate agent people on the program. Every day someone is using a script on you, whether it's the fast food person asking if you want fries with that burger, or the grocery cashier asking if you'd like to donate to a charity. These are all scripts. And as real estate agents don't like the word script. Greg, that's not me. Greg, I sound canned. Greg, it's not about sounding canned. It's about understanding that this is the business. These scripts, as you see, are the business. They are what we should learn so that we know how to answer people. Just like the person at McDonald's, right? Do you want fries with that? Don't tell them they're a salesperson, because they would freak out. All they know is this is my job. You start looking at objection handlers as this is my job, and you become better at them, and you learn them. You get them into rote. You practice. And after a while, you start putting your own inflections on them. We use these every day as experienced salespeople, and we just know what people are going to say. And that's the credit you get as you get more and more into the business. So real estate is a business run with scripts. Once you learn and internalize these scripts, you can get creative and put them in your own voice. The most important action you can take is mastering the scripts and internalizing them so that they sound like it's your normal conversational pattern, right? Whether it's a feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel, Mr. FSBO, and I've had other customers that felt the same way, And what they found was when you list with me, everything gets easier because we take on the burden of bringing people in. We take on the burden of showing people your home. We take on the burden of doing open houses. You see what I'm saying? So that's just a script. That's called a feel, felt, found script. Did it feel ugly to anybody? Raise your hand if it did. I've been doing that script for years, and it's a very easy script. And it's not only used in real estate. Listen to people that are you're talking to. That feel, felt, found is a very basic sales script. Right now, there are over 1.3 million real estate agents, according to NAR, National Association of Realtors. Half of them make less than $41,800 in gross income a year. That's before they have to pay the split to the broker, licensing fees, MLS dues, and marketing costs. The difference between them and an agent making $400,000 in GCI is knowing what and when to ask the right questions. Does everybody agree with that? There's nothing wrong with making $41,000 a year if you're punching a clock 9 to 5, if you're doing one task over and over and over and over again, right? $41,000 a year is a respectable income for most people. You, as a solo agent, are running a business. $41,000 running a business is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. You will be broke. How do I know? Been there. Years ago, been there. Thought, oh, that's great. No, you can't. You have to push. You have to raise your lid on your self-thought, right? You got to raise the income level in your brain. At $400,000, I may make $180,000 because I got to spend on marketing. I got to promote my listings. Excuse me for a minute. I am going to have expenses. I am not going to be working 9 to 5. Right? This is at $400,000. You don't expect to work 9 to 5 unless you've got a real cushy job. I don't know of one. So look at this as a business and not $41,000. Oh, that's good money. It's not. Any questions on that? Am I getting through to you? So there's a good adage. I don't remember who said it, but it's what you practice in private that you will be rewarded for in public. You see, most of our, like the iceberg, tip of the iceberg, right? People see realtors just the tip of the iceberg, professional realtors, people that, realtors that are business people that are making money, that are doing deals. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath there is this huge block of ice. This is where they're practicing. This is where they're practicing in private and they're being rewarded in public. Just that tip of the iceberg. And you really do need to get into a group of people who are dedicated to practicing their scripts. They need to practice their scripts. They want to practice their scripts. They're showing up every day, and you can count on them. You rely on them because you're both mastering something as you go forward. This is important because there's a lot of real estate agents out there who join these groups that don't really want to put the time in. See, your work is during practice. Your work is not out in public. That's when you go to play. It's like a basketball player. When he's practicing, he's putting in the work. He's putting in the 8 hours a day. Then he goes out and plays for an hour and a half. The same thing with a real estate agent. You're practicing every day. You're practicing every day. You're practicing every day. And all of a sudden, wham, you got an appointment with a for sale by owner. All that practice all of a sudden just comes into play. And that's what we're going for here, folks. We're looking for the people that want to play. We're looking for the people that want to practice in private and play in public. To grow these people, the next generation of real estate agents who I feel should be solo agents making the big money. Okay, if you belong on a team, and nothing against team members, believe me, people belong on teams that don't want to be private entrepreneurs, private business people. It's a great place to be. Teams will, in my opinion, become a commodity down the road. You're going to be one person, one team, and you're just going to be doing buyers. You're going to get 25%. You're going to get, might even be just on a salary, $41,800. Well, that's a great thing to do. If that's all you want to make and you just want to work 9 to 5, that's fine. As a real estate agent, that's not what a real estate agent is. A real estate agent is a single solo practitioner who wants to go out there and make a living, build a business, build a bigger business. So I don't know which one you want to be. I talk to both. To me, I want to be a solo agent, helping my teammates get bigger numbers. On my team, I used to have the 50-50. I had a 70-30. I had all kinds of different things. Looking at the team to make me money. My team is now constructed of, hey, you know what? You're going to get the 70% and I'll get the 30%. And that's my coaching fee, right? I'm going to give you the transaction coordinators and all that stuff. That's my coaching fee. So you belong to the team. Am I taking on people that don't want to practice? Am I taking on people that don't want to work? No. The people on my team, we talk about once a week. They use me as their base. And that's the difference. I see that's where teams are going. You have to, there's a reason you joined this business. And what is it? It's to be a business person and a real estate agent. So I can go on for hours on that. Just the passion is there. Sorry about that. All right. So for sale by owners, expired listings, cancel listings. These sellers all have a problem. They need to sell their home. The last agent didn't do what they promised they would do. So we consider these still as low-hanging fruit. We solved their problem by selling their home, and you've got a listing. The pain points are in the objections, because you know that the objections will be, you know what the objections will be. Folks, they're all the same. They're all the same. What can you do for me? How are you going to help me? How much money am I going to make? I don't want to do it because my uncle, brother, sister is also a realtor. They sold one house last year. I expect them to sell mine. This isn't rocket science. I can do it myself. All the tricks here. This isn't rocket science. I can do it myself. I actually have a client who's a rocket scientist, so I can speak to this. Mr. Fisbo, I understand that. What do you do for a living? What did you do before you retired? Well, you know what? I was an airline pilot. Super. You were an airline pilot. That's great. I can fly a plane. Do you agree that anybody can fly a plane once it's in the air? And they'll say, yeah. And you go, so why do we pay pilots $300,000 a year? Well, we know what we're doing. We had to go through training and all this stuff. That's right. We pay you to make sure that we crash safely. Because I can fly it once it's up there. It's just keeping the altitude right? But when we're coming down, I have no idea how to do it. And when we're going up, I have no idea how to do it. That's the same thing with a real estate agent. Anybody can actually show a house. Anybody can, do everything with the house. But when you get down to a contract, or when you're listing a house and doing CMAs and all that stuff, that's where we as a real estate individual, as a practitioner, that's where we make our money. We make our money, and everybody that's on here, it's a real estate agent that sold a house, at least one, knows that there are problems every deal. There are problems. And again, we bring water to the table and not gasoline. There are problems that we know how to handle. There aren't too many problems that I haven't seen in my lifetime. I've sold over 300 homes. There aren't too many. And as you grow in the business, you're going to find that. Again, that's what we intend to give you in the Power Onward Network, is cut that learning curve down. So just go on script practice. You got to have script practice, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to put your work in it to practice. Be like a basketball player, a football player. This is practice. This is where you're doing your work. All that other stuff, showing houses, that's just the top of the iceberg. All right, where are we going next? So what you're practicing. All right, these are just some simple rules, and I'll share these with you. I don't want to go through every one. My rules for practicing on scripts: if you're going to get a script practice partner, and I implore you that you do. Everybody needs a partner. I actually, when I'm actively selling real estate, I do have script partners because it gets boring talking to the same person every morning. You get to know each other. You get to let each other slide a little bit. Get 5 people that really are into making you better and themselves better. Get 3 different people during the week so that you're talking to different people and they're listening and giving you feedback in better, at a better pace. So rules while scripting: when calling or meeting in person, go directly into the script. Don't ask how their night was. You're make believe they are the person. They are the prospect. Go directly in. There's no niceties at all. No niceties. Just go right in. Hi there, Wendy. How you doing? This is Greg Flanagan. Blah, blah, blah. Have the script in front of you and read it out loud. I can tell you what, you can't see my wall, but I can tell you that I've got my database. Majority of my business is my database. And right up here to this day. Hi, Bob. How you doing today? Great. Well, I called a while back and we were hoping to help refer people to each other, but it's not really working. How do you think we can get better at this? That's a script. It's hanging on my wall. It's there. I know it by heart, but it's there just in case, who knows? Somebody walked in my door, telephone rang, it's there, and I can follow it. Okay? Make sure you have the script in front of you. It's always the best. It's always the best way to go. Even if you go to a FSBO's house, bring the script. Stick it in your book. It's, hey, Mr. FSBO, I got a couple of questions to ask you. And just go down and check the script off. It's easy. Don't get into long, drawn-out scenarios. This is especially true with agents that have been on the business for a long time, short time. They, instead of just getting there and giving 2 objections and getting off, which 2 objections is the next one, they're going, well, Bob has to be here and there. No. We don't want to hear the whole life story in every possible scenario. Keep it short, keep it simple. I can tell you that most of my phone calls where I make an appointment are about 3 minutes long. Okay? Well, I want to tell you about X, Y, and Z. That's why I'm coming to your house. We can chat then. Okay? So keep them short, keep them simple. Don't get into long, drawn-out scenarios. Don't get into a deep close asking for emails and all that stuff. The same thing. As you're going through your script practice, once you have the affirmation for the appointment, you're done. You don't have to ask them for their emails and all that kind of stuff. That's just basic. If you don't know that, you're in trouble. You go back to what you were doing. Switch roles immediately after the close. Do not share your opinions. If Allison and I were talking, it would be, all right, Allison, I'll see you on Thursday. And all of a sudden, Allison would jump right in. Oh, good morning, Greg. This is Allison and we just keep on going. We do that 2 or 3 times, and you should be practicing at least half an hour a day. If you're a basketball player, you'd be practicing 5 hours a day. If you have nothing to do, which lead generation is something to do, but schedule yourself for a lot of time into this. Get better at this. Master this. At the end of the session, review the session. Each agent will begin with positives and then do difference. Do difference are just, hey, you know what, Allison? I think you did a great job. Your tempo was good. You stayed on script. The only do different I would have, don't go in there and say, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. The only do different that I would do is X, Y, Z. Right? Make them feel good. You don't want to make this into a beat up session. Now, this is script practice. If you're going into a lead generation situation, normally that's a 15-minute parlay back and forth, even a 5-minute. That just gets you warmed up. So when the phone rings, you know exactly what you're saying. 2 different practice sessions. We'll go over that one later. All right, finish off DPA. Write that down, DPA. If you don't know what DPA is, you do now. Daily producing activities. Daily producing activities, right there. You want a time block research time. Real estate agents are known for having too much research time. You know what? Get that down, Pat. Make yourself a little checklist. You got a CMA coming in. I'm going to check this one, and this one. Take me 20 minutes to do it. Don't load yourself down with information. Okay, get it done. Go back to it if you have to, but get it done and get on to the next thing. Search and download properties from websites. Use the white pages to find numbers of owners or neighbors. These are all things you can do as an activity. We want you to be short, though. I guess it's a conundrum there, but you want to be short. You want to be concise. You want to be purposeful when you're doing this. Don't get in there and start looking for 3 relatives away. Just get in there. If you can't find it in white pages, find it somewhere else, or concede that you're going to have to go knock on the door. On the lead generation side, compile your call list, script practice daily, a minimum of 15 minutes. If you're just doing calls, call immediately after script practice so you're warmed up, you heat it up. Make sure you got your coffee, your tea, your water. Ask that. Now, to finish this off, so we're running a little long, I think. To finish this off, ask for the appointment. Okay. This is not a social call. If you're following a script and you're keeping in your head, there are times over the years that I've put up a banner in front of agents and it said appointment. Appointment. That's your job. Your job is just to get the appointment while you're lead generating. It's not to find out everything about him, his family, and his mother. That comes later. We're going to follow that up later with a different phone call. Believe it or not, I don't know if anybody does that. Follow it up later with a different phone call. Okay, make sure, because that's another contact point. You make the appointment. If it's a listing appointment, you can do a pre-listing package, run it over to them, have it couriered, send it an email, ask them questions, whichever way you got to do. That's another whole session. Okay, go on the appointments. Before you walk in an appointment, you better have in your mind, this is my appointment to take. This is my listing to take. I am going to take this house. I am going to sit here and do everything I need to do to take this listing. Does everybody agree with that? Because if you're not thinking that, if you're worried about, if you're back to fearful, well, what are they going to say? If you don't know how to handle an objection, what are they going to say? Take the appointment, go on the appointment, take the listing. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. It all starts right here between these two temples. Get it in your head that you are the best listing agent that's ever walked down the aisle, and that you're going to help these people. How you're going to help them, just go for it. Okay? Take the listing. All right, that concludes me for objection handling. Anybody got any questions? Great. We're now going to, so the way this works is Power Onward Network. Every Friday we're coming to you free. And from there, we're going to roll into our Power Onward Network. So this is Power Onward Fridays with Flanagan. Then we're going into Power Onward Network. Power Onward Network is a members-only website where for $39 a month, you can join us, get a lot of my resources that I've used over the years, whether it's a listing plan, that kind of stuff. Get some discounts on courses that will be coming up that will only be available at a premium. And you can do that by following the link below. And we are going to transition directly into that. So we'll see you later. I hope it was good for everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you later.